restaurant once. The waitress came and said, "Are you ready for your bill?" I went, "Yes, please." She turned to the next table. "Would you like to place your order?" And for some reason, my brain only picked it up when it was backwards. I went, "Holy crap. Orders generate bills." Since then, we've had people who, one guy in, I think it was Maine or New Hampshire, somewhere up there, he was in court, and I think he had his hat on, and the bailiff told him to take it off. He said, "Is that an order?" "Yes, it is." He said, "Fine." He took off his hat and wrote him out a bill for $1,000. And the bailiff is laughing. It's a big fucking joke to him. He walks up to the judge. "Look what this idiot gave me." Whisper, whisper, whisper.
Oh,
The guy walked out with $1,000 in his hand from that bailiff. He had a check. They're actually banks is what it's kind of operating like. And anyone who gives you an order, if you follow it, especially when they have a gun and they're implying that if you don't follow my order, I'm going to use my gun, my stick, my pepper spray, my steel toe boots, my training, my radio.
Taser.
Yeah, taser. Oh, wimps. Come on. Dude, this is essentially a matter of extortion. So if they give you an order, you say, "Fine, I accept it, and I'm giving you a bill now." And if they don't pay it, it's fraud on their part. It could be even extortion and far worse. So recognizing that orders generate bills, what I found was that a fee schedule is a good way of telling people, "Listen, you're doing wrong, I don't like it, and you're going to pay me one day, and here's how much you're going to have to pay me." The first time that I used one, a guy was in jail for 90 days for tax evasion, because when he was originally tax evasion, but then the way he responded to it resulted in contempt of court. Because they took the order to pay, and he put his finger out like this, and he drew a fucking pen. So that was his mark on it, this on the paper, the big finger. And he sent that off to the court, to the judge, so they didn't like that. And this was an old 80-year-old man from China who had spent the first 50 years of his life in China, and who says Canada is turning into a worse place when it comes to bureaucratic bullshit. So I put in a fee schedule for him on Friday afternoon at 4:30. He had been in jail 6 days. He had 90 days to serve. He was out 5:15 or 5:45 the next morning, 5:45, because the fee schedule kicked in at 6, and they kicked him the hell out.
they're paying him.
Past 6 a.m. they would have been paying him. Yeah, I'm providing you a service here. They call it correction services. Anytime they use the term services, it implies a contract. It implies that someone went and sought it. I cannot impose, I'm a gigolo in my part-time. Can I impose my services upon you? Probably not. That would be rape. And it doesn't matter what services. I also clean people's floors. If I break into your house and clean your floor, guess what? I'm a fucking B&E artist. A service is only a service when the party receiving it says, "Yes, okay, I want some of that." Now, this is tying into the courts. And I overheard something today. We had anyone taste this? Lauren is your name?
Yeah.
Lauren over here, he was cooking everyone's burgers. Good stuff, eh? I found his cooking goes right downhill when someone's there talking to him about law. He's sitting there burning a burger. But he does know a lot about certain things, and you were telling this thing about the courts that I found very interesting.
Which one?
Mother-child.
Oh,
Yeah, come on up here, buddy. Cameras are over here. You're not that good. Folks, give it up for Lauren. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I kind of like the take on that. And one of the things, this guy who I helped with the fee schedule, what I found, I went and I asked to look at the file. And when I look at a file, I always look at the back page first. I mean, I'm not chewing through everything. I want to get to the end of the story as quickly as possible, really. And I found that they were so sneaky. The order wasn't signed, but they had a signed order. What I found was they made a photocopy of the order, signed the copy, sent that off, and the cops were acting on that. And I pointed out they're acting on fraud here. All they had was a copy, a signature certifying this was the copy of this unsigned order, and they were acting on that. And they do that an awful lot. The judge, as he said, the judge does not want to put his signature on it. An order creates liability for a bill, and you get to hit him for a bill. And if you've got a fee schedule that says, yeah, I'll man your prison for you at $10,000 an hour, they kind of have to pay you if you have gone through there, if you've set your ducks in a row properly. And what we're looking at doing, essentially they're just a private security force. Imagine for a moment you get an order that authorizes, say it's a negotiable order, you sell it to a shark or you sell it on eBay, the holder of this order can seize any RCMP vehicle and auction it off for X amount of dollars. Then you can just call up the cops. Yeah, I need a cop here. Yeah, I'll just bring your newest cop car, thanks. They pull up and you go and seize it. They would be pretty much forced to buy that order from you, just from a public relations standpoint. And the courts are starting to get they're aware of what's going on here. They know the Freeman-on-the-Land movement is coming. They're actually very scared of it. I get a lot of emails, well, hundreds actually sometimes. And in England, they've been told from on high, do not accept any more documents from a free man on the land or anyone who says they're a free man on the land. And they told them this with their arms crossed, and they just said, that's okay, you're served, you don't have to accept it, and walked out. And so it is picking up rather quickly, and I don't think you should be shy. I mean, I don't know anyone who's done a Freedom of Information request yet concerning how many people have served documents on them, a notice of understanding and intent and a claim of right. And using those documents, you can essentially, you just fire the government. They're just people. They need your consent. They need to act as your representative. You revoke that consent, and no longer are they your representative, and you have established lawful excuse to disobey any of these courts and any of the legislation, the government of any level. One of the things that he mentioned, giving it. It's true. They use these tricky words. I've had a cop tell me, I'm giving you a ticket. I'm not accepting any gifts today. Sorry. It's not a gift, so you're not giving it to me? What are you doing? Well, you know I'm giving it to you. I'm not accepting it. It's a gift. I didn't bring one for you. It just wouldn't be fair.
Oh, boy.
And this was before I knew about bills, eh? Now that I know about bills, I'd say, oh, we're gift giving. Sure, I got a gift for you. It's a bill.
I want your car.
Yeah. And what I found is that in keeping an after-hours club open, they came in and they did their little stormtrooper thing, and they found a bunch of alcohol underneath the counter. And I was deep into the studying of the words and the chewing everything up at the point in time. So they said, oh, we found alcohol. And it went ding, ding, click. I went, you didn't find that. I knew exactly where it was the whole time. You're stealing it. You put that back right now. And he put it back. And I realized when they come and they say, we found this, they are generating a conflict because you start saying, no, you didn't. And it becomes an issue of salvage. Finders keepers is all about salvage. So yeah, it's Admiralty salvage rules. I found this. And you say, no, you didn't. I knew where it was. It wasn't lost. It was right there. You're stealing it. And they can't go to court and say, ooh, I found this in the cupboard. No, sorry, it wasn't lost. They do stuff like this. And the Admiralty, one of the things I've learned a lot about the law from studying the Bible, strangely enough. If you look at that body of words which people have twisted beyond belief, there is some huge truths in there, certainly guideposts. It's not, I don't know. There's guideposts in there. If you look at the stories from the land and water perspective, land being law, water being admiralty, there are so many stories where Moses led people out of Egypt. The waters parted for them because they were operating on law. They could walk on the land. The soldiers, clearly operating within an admiralty structure, crushed by the water. Jesus walking on land or walking on water, and the people were in the boat all scared. What if Jesus knew, dude, the water is just deception. It's only a millimeter thick. I'm walking on land here, you idiots. What the fuck are you doing in a boat? That's the way I kind of look at it. And there's so many stories there where you can find huge truths about the structure that we're facing, at least little clues as to where you want to go. And once, who heard the story about me testifying in court, hand on the